And we are back here at 7:07 a.m. David Matt in the morning here on KFYO. And as promised, here in the studio with us live this morning, and in color, by the way, Dr. Kathy Rollo, who's the superintendent of Lubbock ISD. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me today.
Well, always glad to have you on here. You impart a lot of useful information to our audience, and I suspect that things are in high gear around Lubbock ISD because school starts, I'm told, a week from tomorrow.
It does.
Are you ready for this invasion of childies?
We are. We are ready to greet the students. We greeted our new teachers yesterday, which was a lot of fun.
How many new teachers?
We have 320 new teachers in Lubbock ISD this year.
How many teachers totally?
We have about 1,700 teachers.
So 320 new teachers. Wow.
Yes.
So is the student body going to be larger this year than last?
We're not anticipating it to be larger. We are hoping that it's about the same.
Okay. Well, of course.
I was just going to say, we're preparing for school coming up. There's school supplies that need to be bought, and I know that the PTA, it's too late now to get it, but the PTA sends out some stuff to have it sent to the classrooms. You can actually purchase it online. And I was just going to say, I was surprised because we looked at what they had there, and then we got on Amazon, we got on, went through Costco. We got a lot of kids to buy stuff for. It was actually cheaper to buy it through the PTA, so I was actually impressed and surprised, and so I was just...
Can you buy it online?
Yeah, well, we were looking at buying it on Amazon. We put all the stuff together. But
from the
you can't now, but it's too late now. But before you could purchase it from the PTA online, and then
you support the PTA by doing so.
Supporting the PTA and get it sent directly to the class. You don't even have to bring it to the school.
That is very, very convenient. Some of our schools do offer that.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that was. I thought all the schools did that.
Yeah, no, it's up to the PTAs,
really?
the individual PTAs, and many of them do.
Okay, my kids go to Whiteside, so.
Well, do we?
That's cool. I didn't know that.
I know we and I know we talked about it on the show, but you could go to any United store and buy school supplies and drop them in the barrel. Are they still doing that?
Yes, they certainly are.
That's a big help, isn't it?
It's tremendously helpful.
If I remember, I've heard that like the numbers, and they were just tremendous. The amount of donations made.
Yes, and we are so grateful to United for partnering with us in that.
Yes, that's good that you give these guys a plug. They're a great community of great community service to this community.
They absolutely are.
And you might add, if somebody wants to do that, what would you advise them would be? Because I wouldn't know what to donate.
Really anything. The school supplies that we used when we were kids are many of the same supplies we're still using.
What, a Big Chief tablet?
Well, not a Big Chief tablet.
No, but when I was a kid, it was a Big Chief tablet and a number 2 pencil.
Glue sticks,
composition books.
We didn't have no glue sticks. We had Elmer's glue.
The one that surprised me, I'm sure it's for the teachers, but black dry erase markers.
Yes. So, a lot of teachers do request those. They use whiteboards in the classroom, and the students sometimes have their own individual whiteboards, and those markers tend to run out very quickly.
So can I ask you this? If so with people that can't afford, if there's people that can't afford the school supplies, how does the classroom work as far as school supplies are concerned?
Well, the supplies that are being donated at United right now are distributed to students most in need. And so a lot of students will get those supplies in their classrooms.
Is that something the teacher makes that determination?
We actually have social workers that help us make that decision. And we have a lot of our students who live in poverty. So we want to make sure that all students are equipped for success.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the T.E.A., the assessment results. Grades will be released August 15th, and you have some preliminary results of that. Now, this T.E.A., let's remind people what it is and what these results are regarding.
So this is the Texas Education Agency, and this is our state accountability system. And you may recall last year we switched to an A through F system. And so last year the district as a whole was rated a 77 or a C. And, of course, we were not satisfied with that by any means, and we are very excited to share that our preliminary calculations that have been confirmed by TEA, but they're not official until the 15th, we actually have moved up to an 86.
Oh, that's a big
So
jump.
a B. And one of my goals and our goals as a district was to be a B, at least an 80. And so we're really proud to say that we're a good, solid B.
We'll give it...
Well, I was going to say, what exactly do they look at for these determinations?
So for elementary and middle school, it's based solely on the STAR assessment. When we get into high school, they also look at college career readiness and how many students complete industry certifications or complete a coherent set of courses that prepare them for college and career readiness. So there's two components when you get to high school. But they look at, number one, achievement. How many students meet, and exceed expectations on the STAR. Then they also look at growth, how many students grew from their previous testing. And then they also look at closing the achievement gaps between our different student groups. So all three of those factor into that grade.
Well, so that's going to be great.
Yes. There's definitely room to celebrate. We still have room to grow.
So you're
no
shooting
doubt.
for an A next year?
We would love to be an A.
I think there's some kind of irony here about the schools actually getting a grade. Isn't there? Well, that's good news. Well, I'll tell you what. Here we are at 7:14. Let's go ahead and take the break a minute early, and then we'll come back and talk with Dr. Rollo more. Good time to remind you that our text lines are open this morning. If you have a question for Dr. Rollo, remember, school starts a week from tomorrow. Text lines open at 806-680-2790. Love to hear from you. And we're back here on KFYO Mornings with Matt and Dave. And again, in the studio with us, Dr. Kathy Rollo, the superintendent of Lubbock ISD. And our 20-year-old producer, Connor, says he's never heard of a Big Chief tablet. And he said it looks crazy for something you'd carry around schools. And
It's not
I
an
have
electronic tablet. I'll put it that way.
No. And here's a question I have. Now, why didn't somebody invent backpacks before the 80s? And and by the way, why didn't they put wheels on luggage? But, I mean, anyway. That's irrelevant.
I didn't know that y'all didn't have backpacks.
No, we didn't have
I was
born
born in
backpacks.
the 80s. And
We had paper
I
sacks,
always
man.
had backpacks.
I always had them too.
So there's some changes going on at Plainscapital Park. Can y'all tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so starting this school year, any sporting events at Plainscapital Park, our visitors will have to carry a clear plastic bag with their items. So no backpacks, no purses. We are moving in line with what we are doing at Texas Tech and what some of our other surrounding school districts are doing. And just for safety, at Plainscapital Park, all of our guests are going to be asked to have clear plastic bags.
So security reasons.
So what are you allowed to bring in and what are you not allowed to bring in? Is there any, I know you can't carry a gun or something like that. I know you can't carry alcohol in, but is there anything that, are you able to bring water, drinks, stuff like that into?
No.
What can you bring in? What
No
can you not?
outside food or drinks because we do have concessions available in Plainscapital Park. The obvious things, obviously no weapons, no alcohol, and no food or drinks.
Okay.
That's been a good addition to the ISD, the Plainscapital Park.
Oh
upgrade.
my goodness, yes.
Wow,
Yes.
That probably competes with just about every other district, I would think.
I think it's a really nice facility.
It
and
is.
I love that all four of our comprehensive high schools share that facility. I think that is really a neat.
We have a texter this
thing
morning
for
that's
the
asked a very good question, I think. Says, Dr. Rollo, let's talk raises. There's a lot of discussion that Lubbock ISD may not be able to keep up with HB3 mandate if funding isn't matched in 2021. Does that concern you?
Well, of course it does, because we want to make sure that we can sustain that. We are just hoping that the legislature at that point continues to, and I do believe they will. I really do. I think they made a firm commitment in this session, and I don't foresee that changing moving forward.
But we have to, that's the legislature, but we have to match that locally. Isn't that right, with property taxes?
Well, our property taxes we've actually reduced, and so that won't change without voter approval. And so we have no intention at this point doing that. The additional funding that came to us from the state absolutely helps us give the raises that we've given.
Okay.
So what, with school coming up, let's see, y'all apparently did some security upgrades to your system, and just kind of what did y'all, I mean, what difference does it make? I mean, what exactly does it do?
So we've had Lobby Guard in place since the 2010 bond.
No, that's a security system.
It's a security system. So when visitors go into our school buildings, we ask them to, well, we don't ask them. They are instructed to check in at the Lobby Guard kiosk. And it's a way to help us, number one, just monitor who's in our building, but it also helps us screen. And so it does a quick background check. Frequent visitors can actually just scan their license quickly, and it prints off their badge. And we ask,
and you put them in the system. I suppose.
Yes. And so our visitors, we ask them to wear a badge, a printed out badge from the Lobby Guard kiosk when they're in the building. If they're volunteering or there to eat lunch with their students or whatever they're there for, it just helps us keep a better eye on who's in the building. So I'm sorry, go ahead, David.
No, this is something new this year, then?
No. We've had the machines in place since 2010, but as you can imagine, they're 9 years old now. So the systems were old, slow, often not working, and so we have upgraded all of those systems.
So it doesn't really change. You still are going to have to go through the system, and you're going to have a name tag printed.
Yes.
Before you can enter any Lubbock ISD school.
That's correct. And it will be faster and much easier to do so now with the upgraded machines.
Have we increased the number of police?
Yes,
school police?
We added 3 additional police officers to our force this year.
And so they make the rounds to the schools and walk the schools and make sure everything is going along properly.
Yes, daily.
And check, I suppose, the high school parking lots and things. Are the campuses, are they closed now for noon?
They are. Our high school campuses are closed for lunch. That being said, we do have some students who have off periods next to lunch or have a class at the ATC. And so some students are coming and going during that lunchtime, but it's not because they're going out to eat lunch.
That's sad because, Coronado, right across the street, you have Lee's restaurant. And, that would be just... I'd probably be 400 pounds right now if I had open lunch with them right across the street because they're really good, but man, it's fattening.
Well, it's just safety and security. It's best if we keep the kids on campus.
Talking about nostalgia here. I wonder if they're doing this in schools. We had you left every morning. I don't remember when. Maybe after you'd been in school an hour. This is grade school. And you went to the cafeteria and you drank milk. They gave everybody a little carton of milk. You could have chocolate or regular milk.
So it was like a snack time?
Well, it was just something you just went to and drank milk. And then you went back to class. It was about a 15-minute deal. Do they do that anymore?
We don't have milk breaks anymore.
No milk breaks. Boy, the times have changed. Well, anyway, we know that there'll be a lot of, so there'll be some changes this year, and there's probably a lot of moms and dads out there that will have questions. And so you invite them to go ahead and call, and you'd be happy to answer their questions, right?
Yeah, so if you have questions about your particular child's school, please call your child's school. They will be happy to help you in any way. All of our schools host open houses prior to school starting next Wednesday. They're at different times, but a list of all of those can be found on our website. And
that is?
www.lubbockisd.org.
Yeah, I'll bet you there's a lot of information that can be found there.
A lot of information about back to school is on there.
And phone numbers and names and everything.
Yes.
For what? Gosh, how many schools are there?
Well, school calendars and all kinds of stuff.
All of that.
So that you know what's going on.
We have 51 campuses.
51?
Yes. We had 52 last year, but we consolidated 2 into 1 this year.
Jeez. So I guess the question would be, what is new this year that people are going to see that wasn't there last year?
Well, I do believe you'll see just an increased awareness of safety and security. That is something we continually work to improve. You will see an intense focus on making sure that we're meeting the social-emotional needs of our students. We have 15 schools that are going through a pilot teaching a social-emotional learning curriculum to our students so that we are making sure our students are are educated in a very well-rounded way, not just the reading, writing, math, and science and social studies.
Well, time is up. Running up against the clock. Always good to have you out, Dr. Rollo.
Well, thank you for having us.
So we will see you about a month from now, and let's hope everything works well a week from tomorrow. We got our fingers crossed.
Thank you.
Okay. Back with more of Matt and Dave in the morning here on KFYO after this.